Most people in crypto think that they know what they're doing. They scroll through Twitter for the next 100x play and convince themselves that they're early, when in reality, they're just exit liquidity. I've seen this cycle repeat itself over and over, from 2017 to 2021 and now again in 2025. Every bull run brings in a new wave of investors who want to make it, but the truth is only a small handful actually do. And we know this to be true by simply looking at the stats. According to Dune Analytics report highlighted by BitGet and Altcoin Buzz, 60% of all meme coin traders lost money. In that very same report, 4.7% of meme coin traders broke even, neither made a profit or a loss. 24% made less than $100, 3% made over $1,000, and only about 0.5% made more than $10,000. Let that sink in for a second. Out of 1,000 traders, only 5 actually made a decent amount of money. Men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. So the real question is, how do we become one of those 5? Or a better way to say it is, how do we position ourselves to outperform 99% of crypto investors? In this video, we talk about exactly that. We're going to cover why it actually makes sense to invest in meme coins in the first place, the difference between long-term and short-term meme plays, how to structure your allocation so that you don't get wiped out, understanding the macro data on how it affects the crypto cycle as a whole, where I think we're at right now in the cycle, how I'm DCAing into memes, and finally a few meme coins that I'm personally holding going into altcoin season. Quick disclaimer, none of this is financial advice. And hey, the video took a ton of work to put together, so if you find value, do me a solid and hit that like button. It really helps more than you know. It tells the algorithm that you enjoy content like this. Now make sure to watch this video all the way through, because one of the steps could be the difference between becoming one of the few who makes money in meme coins or ending up as the statistical majority who gets wrecked trading meme coins. Investing in meme coins isn't something most people would recommend or let alone understand. Imagine going around and letting normies know that you have allocated a portion of your financial portfolio into fartcoin. Sounds crazy, right? Well, here's what we know. We have seen time and time again that meme coins outperform almost everything else when the narrative catches fire. I've seen it happen again and again. 2017 had Dogecoin, 2021 had Shiba Inu and Pepe, and now 2025, the meme coin ecosystem has evolved. So for me, I invest a portion of my total crypto portfolio into memes, which I'll talk about more later in this video. Now, if we have an altcoin season and we play it correctly, it could be one of the biggest wealth transfer opportunities that we'll ever see. Let's start here, because this is where most people get it wrong, and this is why it actually makes sense to invest in meme coins. Most traditional investors see meme coins as a joke. They'll say, why would you invest into something with no utility? But that mindset completely misses the point. Meme coins are not about utility. They're about attention, community, and culture. And in crypto, attention is a form of utility. It's the fuel that drives liquidity and what moves markets. Think about it. Bitcoin was once laughed at. Ethereum was once dismissed as useless tech. Every major innovation in crypto started as a meme before it became real. Look at the XRP community, unlike any other. So it's all a form of a cult, where the belief of the majority props up the asset price. So when I look at meme coins, I don't see jokes. I see mass participation points, low barriers of entry that attract millions of new users. They create virality, excitement, and an emotional connection that no serious DeFi project can replicate. And that emotion is powerful. It's what brings liquidity, and liquidity is opportunity. When you understand that attention equals capital flow, you stop asking why meme coins and you start asking which meme coins will dominate attention next. Because the truth is, meme coins are the purest expression of market psychology. They're fast, emotional, and social. And if you learn to read those signals, you can consistently front run the crowd. Look, I don't follow the typical degenerate meme coin strategy that you see all over Twitter. I'm not that guy gambling in the trenches every day hoping to catch a 100x pump. I take more of a strategic, long-term approach. Instead of chasing every new token that launches, I focus on narratives, the ones that have real potential to capture retail attention and scale to billions in market cap. Because let's be honest, if you're constantly hunting for the next brand new meme coin under 100k market cap, you're not investing, you're gambling. And statistically, that puts you in the 99% who lose. That's just a reality. I'm just the messenger. Yes, there are traders who make money that way, but they're an exception, not the rule. If you choose to go down this path, just understand that you're signing up for extreme volatility, brutal drawdowns, and the odds that are stacked against you. This isn't meant to discourage you. I just have to keep it all the way real. So then, what is the difference between long-term and short-term meme plays? This is important because not all meme coins are created equal. Some are designed to be short-term speculative plays. They pump fast, they dump fast, and they reward only those who are early. Others evolve into long-term memes and communities, and so I want to categorize them into these two buckets: short-term meme plays and long-term memes. Short-term meme coins, these are pure momentum plays. You're not investing in fundamentals, you're trading narrative velocity. When a new meme launches and early traction builds fast, you can catch a 5x, 10x, even 50x moves if you enter before it really takes off or goes viral. But timing is everything here. These coins often have a lifespan of a day, days, or weeks. I treat them for what they are: high risk, high reward, lottery tickets. I allocate almost nothing here, spare change when I want some excitement. I enter early and I always take profits fast. If I'm up 2x, 5x, I'll start scaling out. I never assume that it'll keep going. That's where 99% of people get trapped. Greed kills discipline. Again, I don't play much in short-term memes, but I wanted to touch on this in case you're interested in it. Then you have long-term meme coins. Now, this is where things get interesting. Some memes grow beyond just being a token. They become a cultural asset. Think Dogecoin, Pepe, Bonk, Troll. These aren't just coins anymore. They're digital brands with massive recognition. When a meme achieves cultural stickiness, I treat it more like a brand bet other than a trade. I hold a position through cycles because the brand equity itself compounds. I look to DCA positions in the bear market. These are the memes that survive multiple waves of hype. They become part of the crypto's identity. The key is knowing which memes have that type of staying power. I've talked a lot about this in my How to Invest in Meme Coins video, so make sure to watch that after this if you haven't seen it. But something you're looking for is strong, consistent community engagement. Viral meme culture, so look at the art, the humor, the relatability. Look at organic growth, not just the influencer that's shilling it. Look for integrations into exchanges, wallets, or projects, and IP and ownership so that the meme can't be replicated. Now, when these boxes are checked, you're looking at a meme with potential longevity. Here is how I structure my allocation so that I don't get wiped out. This is the part that almost nobody talks about: risk management in meme coins. Everyone loves to talk about what to buy, but few actually talk about how much to buy, and that's exactly why most traders get wrecked. Here's how I think about it. I treat meme coins as a satellite play within a larger portfolio. So if Bitcoin is my core portfolio, then strategic memes are my plays that can moon or create great risk reward, which can give my portfolio some explosive growth in the event that I'm correct in my picks. I divide my holdings into three layers: core holdings, which is about 40%, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and blue chip assets. These are my long-term wealth builders. Then you have your growth positions, also 40%. That's solid altcoins with strong narratives. This can be AI, DeFi, or layer 2s. Then I have my speculative plays, which is about 20%. That's meme coins, new narratives, and maybe NFTs. Within that 20%, I'll usually split it up across multiple memes, anywhere from 5 to 10 high conviction positions, but I usually land somewhere around 7 meme coins that I aggressively hold. I assume every single one of them could go to zero, but even if one of them hits a 50x, it could cover every loss and then some. That's the math of an asymmetrical opportunity. It's not about being right every time, it's about positioning for a big upside. And that's the mental framework that keeps you in the game long enough to catch those rare wins. Now, when it comes to investing in meme coins, you have to know where you are in the market. If you're playing this long game, you have to understand when to buy and when to sell. So you need to understand the macro data and how it affects the crypto cycle. This is something that most retail investors completely ignore. They'll look at the charts, but not the context. They'll chase the coins, but not understand why the market's moving at all. Macro data drives everything: liquidity, risk appetite, and market cycles. When I look at the macro, I focus on three things: interest rates and liquidity conditions, inflation and Fed policy, and crypto cycles, charts, and market sentiment. Quick shameless plug, not so shameless, I just launched Coin Capital, our new Discord community. It's small right now, but it's growing fast. You can join absolutely free using the link below before we eventually move the chat behind a paywall. If you want the full experience, the paid tier gives you access to my custom trading view indicators so that you can see the same signals that I'm watching, plus exclusive spreadsheets and data tools. And if you join now, you'll be grandfathered in at the current low rate before we expand. You can find this on WAP in the description below. Now, when rates are high and liquidity is tight, speculative assets like crypto struggle. But when the Fed starts cutting rates or when liquidity injections hit the system, risk assets explode. You can see this pattern clearly. 2020, global liquidity flood into Bitcoin and altcoins moon. In 2022, there's rate hikes and quantitative tightening. We have a brutal bear market. In 2024 and 2025, inflation is now cooling, cuts are expected, and risk on appetite is returning. That's exactly what's happening right now. I talk about this all the time on this channel. Institutional money is flowing back into crypto, Bitcoin ETFs are creating inflows, and retail tension is warming up again. And every single time that happens, a meme coin cycle follows shortly after. Because when the big money stabilizes Bitcoin and Ethereum, retail confidence returns. When retail returns, memes explode. It's simply liquidity transferring. That's the rhyme of this market. So if you can read the macro shifts early, you can then time your entries with much higher probability of success. So this brings me to where I think that we are right now in the cycle, as it will affect if we see meme coins and alts take off. I explained this in detail in my last altcoin season video, but after that huge liquidation flush, we saw prices recover a bit, and I'm just not too sure if it's over yet. So I'll explain what I mean. Right now, Fed cuts are still on track for October and December, showing around 96%. This is important because we want to see retail go risk on and liquidity start to come back into crypto. We saw Bitcoin dominance hit 63.5% on that major flush that just happened. And we saw Total 3 go close to the support line, just like we've seen in the past before alt season happened. I think for us to really see altcoin season like we experienced in past cycles, we need Bitcoin dominance to go to 71-73% of that high resistance range for us to see liquidity then move to alts. This unfortunately means that alts might bleed a bit before we officially go into altcoin season. So then that brings us to how I'm DCAing into alts while they're low. Dollar cost averaging, or DCA, isn't always fun, but it's effective, especially in a market that moves this violently. DCAing helps us average into that volatility instead of trying to time the bottom perfectly. So here's my approach. I watch the macro signals to see when we get close to the bottom. Based on the previous patterns, I deploy a small amount of capital over time. During dips or periods of low hype or fear, I use Bitcoin dominance, Total 3, and funding rates as indicators. If dominance is peaking and alts are bottoming, that's usually a good DCA zone. And I'll keep you guys updated in the Discord community. This method keeps me from FOMOing or buying the tops and ensuring that I'm always adding when others are fearful. This isn't glamorous, but it's consistency that beats emotion every single time. When altcoin season hits and the rotation accelerates, these quiet buys become massive multipliers. The DCA mindset also keeps me grounded. I'm not trying to guess where the next 100x will come from. I'm building exposure gradually across solid narratives and memes with strong traction. That's how you survive volatility and thrive when memes decide to send. Now, here are some of the meme coins that I am personally holding right now going into altcoin season. Remember, this isn't financial advice. This is just how I'm positioning myself. First, we have Giga on Solana. Giga is probably the most exciting Solana memes right now that I have. The community's energy is insane, and it was just listed on Binance. This is also a bet on IP and just a meme coin that I think can grow significantly if Solana regains all-time highs and momentum shifts and we see an altcoin season. Then we have Pepe on Ethereum. We all know Pepe. Pepe is an OG of the cycle, not just a meme token, it's a cultural icon. The brand recognition alone makes it a long-term hold in my portfolio, even if the market dips. I'm confident in its staying power. Then we have Troll on Solana, which I've talked a lot about. Troll has one of the most dedicated communities on Solana. I've been in this coin since 7 million market cap back in April. They got the rights to the IP. It was listed on Coinbase this past month. It's used in everyday language. It's viral. I think it has a low supply relative to its interest, which gives it a huge upside if the hype really hits. I treat this as a satellite play with high potential, so very bullish here. Then we have Mog. Mog is very cheap right now. It's a multi-cycle bet. Community is strong. It's the type of coin that you enter gradually using DCA small positions for asymmetric upside. Next, we have Apu, which is another long-term narrative play. I see it as one of the memes that could survive multiple cycles because the community is nuts. They were recently listed on Hyperliquid. They're actually building something meaningful and they're not just trying to last a cycle. These guys are here to stay, and check out their website if you haven't seen it. We have SPX 6900. This one is already at a high market cap, but its potential to 5 or 10x does exist if it hits virality or if we have altcoin season. My position in this is small right now because I'm late to SPX, but I'll DC BCA if I can get a better entry. Then we have Brett. Brett is my bet on the base ecosystem. It's funny, viral, and it has a real chance of going mainstream if base grows. At the end of the day, meme coins aren't gambling. They're understanding human behavior. It's about being able to read attention, emotion, and momentum better than everyone else. If you treat this with discipline, if you respect risk, if you time your entries and you understand the bigger picture, you can position yourself far ahead of retail. Because honestly, 99% of people in crypto would chase what's already pumping. But the 1%, they're doing what we talked about in this video. They're studying before the pump even happens. They're accumulating when everyone else is in fear. They're preparing now with conviction. That's the game. Meme coins are volatile, unpredictable, and emotional, but that's what makes them exactly worth allocating a small position of your portfolio into. And in the next phase of this cycle, the people who can navigate that chaos with patience, with strategy, and with the same conviction will come out on top. So as we head into altcoin season, remember this: don't chase, position early, and stay disciplined, because the next wave, it could be the one that changes everything. If you are a beginner and you want to learn how to invest in meme coins, click here.